employability so that we can have a working solution. We have discovered a problem. We can agree that we have discovered a problem. So from the perspective of a lecturer in a polytechnic, please give us in a sentence or two a reform that you suggest to the Nigerian government to help bridge this gap.
We cannot overemphasize the fact that the Nigerian education needs more funding, which, of course, the Nigerian government has a responsibility to a large extent to look into in classrooms, more classrooms, facilities, in hostel accommodation, so many things like that. We cannot overemphasize that because the students, the number of students that are, the population in particular, of the younger ones that want to get higher education kept increasing year in, year out. So that effort from the government has to continue. At the same time, the facilities, the equipment that the lecturers are going to use and the ones that have been made available to the students too, we need to improve on that.
Thank you. So funding.
Again, briefly on employability. Yes, of course, I know we are focused more on organization employing the graduates. At the same time, we have to look at the side that graduates of polytechnics, paraventure, more than those from universities, has a higher tendency to even become an employer by themselves.
Please, let's hold that thought. We are coming to the dichotomy, so let's hold that thought. So, Dr. Emiola, let's have you a reform in a sentence, please.
Funding, funding, and funding.
Okay.
But the funding we are looking at, I am looking at it from another angle. You find out in most developed countries of the world, the funding is not only done or made by the government. Private sector must also join hands with the government. Individuals must join hands. We have billionaires in the country. We have millionaires in the country. They are not funding education. They rather prefer to fund Big Brother Nigeria.
Okay, let's OD there. Let's OD there. Daniel, please, in a sentence, a reform to the government.
I don't think it's a government thing.
Okay.
Funding is good, but funding for what?
All right.
I would say it's more, and back stepping a bit, is more of our lecturers and the education system to provide initiatives, activities, and the environment that can make learning happen in the classroom.
Right.
It has to move beyond just talking at students to facilitating learning. And in facilitating learning, students begin to practice cognitivism, which is what I'm trying to say. When you have 2 out of 50 students doing things on their own, why can't we have 40 out of 50? We need that learning environment and that learning experience.
Thank you.
And backstrapping a bit, what I meant was that we don't need to teach people how to use Zoom in school, but there needs to be ways and experiences that will make people start using it right from school. If a lecturer says, I want to hold my class on Zoom, everybody doesn't know how to download Zoom.
Thank you.
And start
Thank you,
practicing.
Daniel. So we've heard funding. But Daniel brought a twist to it and put in initiatives. So we have our NUC representative here. Dr. Olatunji, can you hear me, please? Okay.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
I can
loud
hear
and
you.
clear. Good morning. How are you this morning?
Okay. Very well, thank you.
How's
Good
the weather in
morning,
Abuja
everyone.
today?
Abuja is fine.
Awesome.
I bring you very warm greetings of the Executive Secretary,
Thank you.
National Universities
Thank you.
Commission, Professor Abubakar Adamu Rashid.
Thank you.
Sincere apologies that I'm unable to be in Lagos. Let me commend the organizers of this program for the hard work that you have put into it. Let me congratulate your church for putting it together, putting young people together.
Thank you very
to
much.
have a
Thank
forum
you.
like this
Thank
to
you.
discuss. As you know, we've had a lot of back and forth because of changing things, and well, I'm glad that I thank God for the gift of technology I'm able to join you.
Awesome. Thank
So
you.
I started hearing you about a little over 5 minutes ago.
Okay, okay.
Conversation. I don't know what I've missed and when you want me to come in.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. We're glad to have you. So we
If I may, sorry to
Yes,
cut you.
please.
I'm Mrs. Olatuji.
Oh, Mrs. Okay,
To be
sorry.
Yes, I'm Mrs. Olatuji, not
Okay.
Victor.
Okay.
Let me introduce myself.
All right,
I'm
ma.
Kola Olatuji. I'm a deputy director in charge of the division in the Executive Secretary's office known as Cervical Anti-Corruption and Transparency, SACT. So I'm here to speak on behalf of the Commission.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're very much
Thank
welcome.
you, Mrs. Olatunji, on behalf of the Nigerian Universities Commission. Okay, so let's pick it up from what Mr. Femi said about the Polytechnic graduates. You know, I think in July or August, a bill was passed that the dichotomy between HND and BSc be scrapped and is awaiting approval from the president. So, Mrs. Olatunji, I would like to ask, is a polytechnic a university?
Certainly not. Since no two words are the same, you've said it, you've answered the question before asking, is a polytechnic a university? A polytechnic is not a university.
Okay.
But I need to stress that a polytechnic is not inferior to a university. A polytechnic was established for a purpose to produce the middle-level manpower that every society, every nation needs to develop. And that is the reason why training at the Polytechnic is so practical, is so hands-on, because the people that are being trained are supposed to use their hands more than the theoretical aspect of whatever they have learned.
Okay, please
to
hold your
better the
thoughts.
society.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Ma. You said something that Polytechnic is not inferior to the university. If that be the case, then why do we have a bill requesting for scrapping a dichotomy?
Because, unfortunately, over the years, when I say we, I mean Nigerians, created an unnecessary dichotomy that over time made Polytechnic graduates to feel and look inferior to university graduates. And it's like the government put a stamp on that by saying, if you're from a polytechnic and you're coming into the system, you will come at a particular level. But if you have a university certificate, that's a degree, you will come at a step higher. Simple as it looked, it redefined everything. It told everybody coming in that, look, I am superior. That's why we graduated the same year. You even went and did one year IT after your national diploma, and then you obtained a higher national diploma. After
Okay,
5 years,
Mrs. Anastasia, sorry to cut you. Sorry to cut you.
You are engaged at a level lower than me, so you are inferior to me.
Okay, so that means you have, is it that I'm not understanding you or there's a conflict here? There's a conflicting statement. You said that Polytechnic is not inferior to the university, but you just mentioned now that a university graduate is superior to a Polytechnic graduate.
I didn't say so. I didn't say
Okay,
university
please repeat.
graduate is superior.
Okay.
I said our policy.
Policies,
Our
okay?
policy,
Okay.
the policy that the National Assembly is trying to do something about, our
Okay.
policy established it such that if you're coming in with a higher national diploma, you will come into the public. When I say come into the public service, but you will agree with me that it's not so in the private sector. For the private sector business owner, you need somebody to do a job. You come forward to say you can do it. You are interviewed. You are given the job, and every day you are writing an exam by reason of what you do on the job.
Okay.
But going into the civil service, there was this established thing that if you have HND, you couldn't go beyond a certain step. I don't want to mention steps because we see it's on its way out, so we don't need to go back.
Okay.
The House of Reps has passed, the Senate has passed. We are waiting for the president's signature, and that will be all. So let's look forward. Let's not look back, because if we look back, we will ask questions. Our educational system was borrowed from our colonial masters, the British. Most of the polytechnics in Britain have become universities.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hold your thoughts, Ma.
Many of them.
Right.
You understand?
Kenny has an information
So they
for-
have realized that the
Hello,
spirit
ma'am.
behind the establishment of polytechnics
Mr.
is no
Olatunji,
longer
can you hear
relevant in today's
Mrs.
world.
Olatunji,
Yes, please.
thank you
Okay,
very
yes,
much,
I can
ma.
hear you now.
Hold your thoughts, ma. Thank you very much.
Right.
For all those who are following us online, you can start sending in your questions. If you have questions to ask any of our representatives or a general question, we are very much available to take your questions. And those who are seated here, who are in the studio with us, and you have your questions, kindly write them out. Don't be shy. We're here for you. Aya. All right, so we're going to pass a sheet of paper to you. So you write down the question, and I'll be going around to get the questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kenny. Okay, so I want to have a perspective from Daniel. You work more with recruitment. So over the years, have you seen or do you agree that there's a preference for university graduates over polytechnic graduates? It's deep, Abi.
So there's not so much of a preference,
okay,
right? It's really about in the recent years, it's really about can you do the job, right? Can you do the job? What they ask for is, you know, higher national diploma or bachelor's degree. That's what many organizations ask for, all right? However, and there are some other organizations that specifically want diploma, all right? Especially organizations that deal with very high technical work. So there's an advantage of even HND or diploma HND holders over BSc holders in that case, all right? So I would not say it's a bad thing, neither is it a good thing. Everyone has its place, all right? Organizations prefer one or can prefer an HND probably because they feel, like she said, the reason why it was created was to fill technical, you know, needs in the society. So many organizations want that and they look for those people. So it's not so much about the preference, it's can you do the job? And if you can do the job, you get the job.
Okay, thank you. So I'll go back to Mrs. Olateji if you can hear me. Before you joined, Mr. Femi raised a point, and we kind of noticed a gap that the intake into the universities and those that are churned out, there's a huge gap. So even Dr. Emiola made mention that a community sends out thousands of students to go to school and they can't be employed. So I would like to ask, first off, we see that JAMB registration, for those registered for JAMB, the numbers skyrocket every year. I think it was about 2 million or so.
A whole lot, actually.
Yes. And we know that not all of them would get admitted into university. Not necessarily because they don't merit it, but maybe because they don't have the capacity to admit them. We don't have enough schools. And I read one of the functions of NUC in Nigeria is to advise the government if there is a need for more universities in Nigeria. So now I would like to ask Sima, do you think at this point that we are in, do you think there's a need for more universities in Nigeria or more polytechnics? So Mr. Olatunji, can you please provide insights? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nigeria needs more universities.
Okay, established.
Great. Yeah, Nigeria needs more universities to be established.
Thank you.
The National Universities Commission is the sole regulatory agency, not of universities alone, but all degree awarding institutions. That includes a school like Yaba Tech that has some degree programs in affiliation with the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and the Adeyemi College of Education with OAU. So many polytechnics and colleges will regulate their degree programs. Now, why do I say Nigeria needs more universities? The United States of America has over 200 million people, right? And it has more than 6,000 higher institutions, universities, community colleges, and what have you. Nigeria is estimated to have about the same population of 200 million people. And today we have just 201 universities at the last count.
Wow.
50 of them are federal universities, 52 of them are state universities, and 99 of them are private universities. They are not enough. They are not enough.
Okay, thank you.
In the last few months, the federal government established some new federal universities in about 5 states, and the media was awash with, Nigeria's government is establishing universities. It has not finished funding the existing ones. Our children need places, spaces, opportunities to go to school. So we must continue to expand and encourage more people to invest in university education so that those who want to go to school can.
Okay, ma. With reference to what was said earlier, the lecturers in the house said we need finance,
Funding.
funding in the educational sector. So my question is, do you think with the current financial challenges faced in the existing university, how will we be able to manage even more university? Is it feasible?
You see, money, money, money. Finances, finances, finances. We can talk the whole day. If you want me to dissect the issue of finance, I might be seen to be, oh, she's a government employee, so she's the federal government. No. It is one thing to have funds available to you. It is another thing to carefully, reasonably, and I say that with due respect, deploy those resources for the maximum benefit possible.
Thank you.
We need to interrogate our institutions, especially the public ones. How much were you given?
So,
What
Ma,
did you
sorry,
use
hold
the
your
amount
thoughts. You
that
said we need to interrogate. Who needs to interrogate?
Every one of us. We are
By every
all
one of us, do you mean the
No.
NUC? Because it sounds more like a function of the NUC.
No?
See, NUC is a regulatory agency, all right. But you'll agree with me that every university, especially the public ones, have, education is on the concurrent list.
Yes.
That means federal, state, local government, and private individuals are free to come in and go out, all right? So when it comes to matters of funding, the functions of NUC are so limited. Once upon a time, every fund going to federal universities came to NUC. NUC disbursed and monitored. Then the Academic Staff Union of Universities rose up and said they wanted autonomy. They should be allowed autonomy to a large extent. So what do we have now? Each vice chancellor comes to Abuja to defend its budget at the National Assembly. So funds go directly to the universities, and NUC has no power over what
So if
universities use their
I
monies
get
for.
your tone of conversation, you would see, or don't let me put words in your mouth. Which
No.
mode of funding would you prefer?
Let me just quickly say this.
Okay.
So when I say we, if, for example, I am a staff, either teaching or non-teaching at the University of Ibadan, it is my responsibility to know how much is coming into University of Ibadan. It is my function, it is my business. I should be interested in knowing how are these resources deployed? What are they using the money for? If we say we do not have reagents in our laboratory, was there a vote for reagents in the year 2021? How many reagents were purchased? Where did they go?
Okay,
so we in our local communities should be interested in what is happening around us. That's what
I agree.
What I mean by we.
I agree. I agree. But at this point, who should be held responsible for this accountability? Because if I get you, this is a question of accountability. So who should be responsible? So as a staff in the university, I noticed that funding was released for a lab, but I don't have the lab. Who do I go to? What is the channel of communication? Are there structures in place that can answer these questions? Or is it just on paper?
Do you know what? After the military, the next place where you have order, organization, is the university system. The university has a governing council. The university has the Senate. Universities are run by committees. You don't just, it's not a traditional system where you say once the traditional ruler speaks, nobody speaks. So people in the system, they know the channel of communication in the system. They know where to to direct their questions. And when they don't get answer, they know the process of seeking redress.
Okay, now, we
That's
understand
it.
that they
Prof.
know.
Prof. Oniela will tell you that. Sorry.
No problem. So we understand that they know, but we want to know. I want to know. I mean, I passed through the university education and I saw that every time AUC was coming to school, Kenny, we went to the same school, so
Only
you can
for
relate.
accreditation.
They paint the walls of the university, libraries come up, there are books in the library.
Yes.
So as a student, I think I have a right to know how the funding appropriated to my school is being dispersed.
Yes.
So who should be held? Who can I walk up to and say, Ma, sir, this were released for this, but I can't see this. Are there structures in place? Or is there, a system cannot...
Sorry.
A system cannot hold itself accountable to itself.
Yes.
There has to be an external body. There has to be someone that you have to be accountable to. So please, ma, tell us, who can we walk up to? We want to know. Nigerian graduates, they want to know. Those watching online want to know.
See, any university that does not have a vibrant student union has a problem. Students, you have the student union as a representative of the students. Students are represented in the Senate.
How much power do you think is given to the student union, ma?
What we have these days is the university taking power from the student union by removing their government and just leaving them as a union. It has happened across several schools in Nigeria today. So when they do that, the student union become a toothless bulldog. So if you're saying that the student union had to hold this, had to hold any mismanagement of fund, hold them accountable or report them to the appropriate quarters, how do they do that when they have been ripped of their wings?
I think what she's trying to let us understand
Let me.
is that as Nigerian students, we have a right to know. And we
We
can
do.
exercise that right.
How?
But how?
Oh, thank you. May I come in?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
You see, I was privileged to practice journalism for more than 20 years before I came to NUC. And for about 15 of those years, I covered the education beat. So I can tell you stories about student unionism. Look, nobody says you are if you don't say I am. What we have in many institutions are a band of students that compromise, they work with politicians, they work with, universities will always have camps. And for example, a vice chancellor is appointed, he contested with some people lost out, so he has supporters, you find members of the student union, instead of standing there to defend their colleagues, they are liaising with opposing camps, they lose respect, they collect money from politicians, they do all sorts of things. That's what leads to the situations we are talking about. I work with many student union bodies as a journalist, because as a parent, you want life to be better for students on campus. So I worked with them, and I was highly disappointed many times over. So if you have institutions proscribing student unions, go and find out what has happened. You will find the student union president riding a car given by a politician who is against the vice chancellor of that institution. I can tell you stories that if you have a serious-minded student union, like we had on the old, that can articulate their positions, and it's not all about aluta, break windows, break doors. You conduct yourself as people that are being prepared for leadership, and you present your position.
Thank you, Mrs. Olatuji.
to authorities. They will listen to you. They will.
Would hold on
That's
that.
the only
We have
channel they've got.
some questions. We have some questions from our audience. So please let's have that. Kenny.
You're not here yet, so yeah, I would really love to hear the perspective of our lecturers here.
So ma, do you agree that all student union bodies are greedy?
In fact,
Not all, not all.
Okay, so
Majority.
okay, so are
When you
greedy.
Safe to say
on that,
majority.
on that issue, I was nodding my head because that is what we have today. The students want to ride big cars while on campus, and there are politicians out there that are ready to fund them. We fund you, you ride big cars, they pay them salaries. I know about it because I have members of this student union in my department, so I know about it. They fund them, they pay them to be on their side, either against or for the authorities, in the favor of a particular politician.
So I would like to interject.
Yeah.
If a system is working, why should there be a need for someone to be on this side or on that side? Okay, so now I schooled in a federal university,
Yeah.
and we had a student union body. And Kenny can relate with this. Went to the same school. We know what happened. In fact, that's a story for another day. But my question is this, ma: if a system is working and there are structures in place where you can air your grievances, where you can make your complaints, then why should there be politicizing the system? So I need to understand, because is it the students or is it the system?
It's
We
the
need-
system.
Thank
It's
you.
a societal
Thank
problem.
you. Thank you.
It's a societal problem. You see, the love of money has eaten deep into the hearts of man. When I say man, I mean at every level. It's a societal problem.
So do you think this could be part of the reasons why we don't have enough funding for our university?
yes, now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that admittance. I appreciate that. So I think we have some questions here.
Yes, we have some spontaneously generated questions from the audience. And the first one here is directed to Mr. Daniel. You talked about the institution and individual aspects of education. My question is, what can individuals do to upskill themselves and cover the gap in the workplace?
That's a very brilliant question. I think, so there's this quote by someone. He said, the skills that brought you out of Egypt will not take you to your promised land, right? That means from where there's a gap between where you're coming from and where you're going to. And you need to actually, first of all, you want to ask yourself, where are you going to? What do I want to do? You know, you were saying something. The reality is that the graduates we have in school, they are divided into three. One is that they are studying what they did not apply for. Two is that the second category, they are studying what they applied for. And the third category is either one or two. They're at this point in school where they are saying, I may not practice this after school. All right? So you want to ask yourself, what do I really want to do? And what are the skills I need to get there? The secondly is, where do I find the skills? Now, Google is, after your formal university, Google is the next closest university, because everything you need to know is just asking the question on Google, how can I do this, right? I remember when I was leaving school, I learned graphic designing by just watching YouTube videos and reading blogs on YouTube. That was my entry point, even in starting my career in an organization. So how do you get the skill? The person asks is on Google. Secondly, there's a 70-20-10 model of learning that says that 70% of learning takes place in a job, 20% takes place from your interaction with people, and 10% from formal education. Now, the 70%, a lot of times graduates say, but I don't have experience. How do I get experience? Now, experience doesn't necessarily mean that you are working a 9-to-5. Experience is what activities and what things can I do that will make me practice what I'm learning. For example, what you're doing now, you're doing communication. So if you're in a church, you want to say, how can I volunteer myself, either in the drama, how did I start teaching and training? I was in the drama unit, right? Acting drama. That builds my communication skills. So just to summarize. Okay.
Let me interject before you summarize. So do you think that our universities need to create these platforms for students as part of our curriculum?
Absolutely. All right. Absolutely.
Do you agree?
I feel, yeah. For example, if you're teaching someone journalism, for instance, are there opportunities for the people to start practicing it in school? Are there mock activities where you just situate like you're actually, you know, some courses are opportune to do that, but many courses are not, right? And that is why it's left for the individual on one part and the school on one part. That's why I'm not blaming the school. I'm saying it's working together. But how do you get these skills? Understand what it is you want to do. In a simple search online would get you that, and look for those experiences for you to start practicing those experiences.
Do we have more questions, guys?
Yes, we do. This is directed to, I think, the NUC and the lecturers. What measures are Nigerian universities taking to encourage students, both foreign and local, see Nigerian universities as the best choice to go in order to get quality education, as this is not the case?
Dr. Miola, University of Choice, Unilag. Let's hear from you.
University of first choice and the nation's
Right?
pride.
Okay, so let's hear. How do we do that?
In the real sense of it, it's very difficult to do that. Because you see, if an average Nigerian student gets admission to travel abroad, and they get the same admission to study in Nigeria, they will grab the one abroad. It's normal, it's natural.
Why?
Is it natural?
It's natural.
Natural.
Should it be natural?
It shouldn't be natural.
In the past,
Yes.
I had some uncles that told me that he turned down foreign
Yes,
admission.
in the past.
In the
Yes.
past.
Why do we
what
keep referring to
changed?
the past?
Yes, now we have to refer to the past in order
Shouldn't it get
To understand
better?
the future.
in order for us to know where we are
it-
and to know what we will do.
Is it a big
Okay,
for
so
the
what can we do? That's the question
What
now.
we can do, the things that we can do are many.
Like,
Like we need to fund our university.
Mrs. Olatunji, I hope you are here with us.
Provide the facilities.
Very well.
Okay, thank you.
We need to provide the facilities that they enjoy over there. If the facilities they enjoy over there are, it's not as if the lecturers there are better than the lecturers here. In fact, we have more top-notch lecturers here in this country, well-trained. I'm one of them.
Well-trained in Nigeria, or well-trained that went out and came back?
Nigeria.
Okay.
I was trained in Nigeria and I practiced in Nigeria, and I assure you that if I leave the confines of this country and I go abroad, I will excel over there. I will excel absolutely well. But you see, the climate that we have here, the educational climate we have here is not conducive. It's not a conducive climate.
Thank you for that.
You have 100 students sitting in a lecture theater that is supposed to hold 50 students.
Oh, ma, please hold your thoughts. Kenny, when
read.
AUSU is coming to school, they'll tell some people to stay at home and some people to come to school so that we can look fewer.
Yes.
Do you agree? Am I, if I'm lying?
I don't know whether you are lying or not.
Welcome to Demiola. Your smile says it. I think your smile says it. Okay, do we have more questions?
No, I would really love for the representative from NUC to respond to this.
Yes, true.
To this question.
Mrs. Olatunji.
Please, can you repeat that question?
Okay, ma'am.
I was busy listening to Professor Miola.
What measures are Nigerian universities taking? What measures are Nigerian universities taking to encourage students, both foreign and local, see Nigerian universities as the best choice to go in order to get quality education, as this is not the case?
Yes, let me start with that last sentence. And as this is not the case, that's not true. Nigeria offers good quality education. All right? That is the reason why Nigerian students will go abroad and top their classes, whether in their master's program or they decide to take another degree, okay? The quality has never dropped. But the quality of who goes in and what they acquire is a different story altogether. I don't know if you heard what happened at the University of Ilorin, where a student beat up a lecturer because he walked up to her and said, I didn't go for CS, give me some marks. Mark me as having participated and give me marks. That's what many people do, and they go to the universities. And do you know that there are people who are not bona fide students of the university, but they pass through the holes in the system and earn the degree of that university? That being said, there are people who will make third class, while some are making first class, 2-1 and all of that. So that being said, each university has to market itself. Since the year 2015, for example, I have been the communications officer of a project in the National University Commission, a project of the World Bank known as Africa Centers of Excellence. University of Lagos has 2 or 3 of them. We have students from all over. We have regional students coming to Nigeria to study. Even at PUK, because there's this notion that, PUK is in Kano, there are security challenges. People are traveling from all over the place to go to Kano. If you have good programs and you market them well, visit the website of many of Nigerian universities. You will know which direction to face to get information. Visit the websites of others. We, the universities, we have to market ourselves. And I pray that as a nation, God will grant us peace and security. Once upon a time, we had foreign students in OAU. I went for an international meeting and I met a woman working in the school. And she said she finished at the Bayero University, Kano. She traveled from the Gambia to go to Bayero University to study. We had foreign students from UK, from America, in UI and OAU. We can get back to that.
Thank you, Mrs. Olatunji. Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much for your contribution. But you said we had, and I've not heard we have. So I think we need to look into that.
We have.
Okay, we still have, but when we compare it to what we had, remember when we opened the discussion, we opened on the ground that employers used to chase after people for employment. So if we say that we have a good quality of education, do you think that that statement is not shaky? Because if we do, then it should be we should not refer so much to the past. I don't know if Kenny, you agree with me.
Yeah,
we refer so much to the past.
I do, but I feel we have more of a human capital issue across all tribes, religion, age, irregardless. There is that problem. So when you see how people behave before, used to behave before. The employers used to come to seek the best students out. But these days, the employers are probably too lazy. Probably.
I think Daniel will
Probably.
disagree.
Yes, you do it. I don't know.
Not like before.
I don't know. I don't have data to show
Not like
they don't do
before.
it before. but
We have so many students who were doing good before, very very better before. But these days we are like the best guys in the tech space right now. Nigeria, we are doing exceptionally well in the entertainment industry right now. So this brings us to our next question.
Kenny, before we take that question, so for those that are watching online, I'm sure you are, this is an exciting conversation if you agree with me. If it's your first time joining us in any of our program at the Star Hub, please use the guest link, bit.ly, the Star Hub guest. We have a gift for you. Please fill the link with your accurate information. I'm sure the link are in the chat right now. Please fill the link. There's a gift there for you that you don't want to miss. And we have plans at the Star Hub. Now, these conversations, we can't exhaust it here, right? I agree that we can't. Yeah. So we can keep these conversations going. So you can join our clan system. When you, the link to join the clan is bit.ly/find-a-clan. We are scattered across Lagos and its environs. There's a community waiting to receive you. But before we take the next question, Kenny,
Okay.
I'd like to ask a question.
Okay.
So just hold your thoughts.
All right.
Dr. Emiola, Mr. Femi, in your lengthy years of experience as lecturers, have you ever encountered the issue of missing scripts by students? I think this silence means consent.
No.
Okay.
Well, I went silent because I wanted to know maybe it happened to me or that it happened to someone around. Yes, it had not happened to me. However, it does happen. Yes, for instance, there are cases whereby some offices were bogus, some scripts were taken away.
Sir, please, let's just hold it there. You agree that it does happen.
Yes.
It rarely happens. Rarely happens. Because from the examination room, where the exams are conducted, every script is counted and recorded. There are recording sheets in triplicates. So, one copy goes to the lecturer, one copy goes to the examination committee, and the third copy is kept for the faculty. There is hardly any situation where a script is missing from the examination room until it gets into the custody of the lecturer. The only way a script can miss or get missing is in the hands of the lecturer that is marking it.
Okay.
And that will be his own personal.
So if that is the situation,
Yes.
And it happens.
what are, it
Oh,
happens.
thank you, it happens, yes.
What are the ways to go? Like, how can you resolve this issue?
Because Kenny,
as a
I've
student?
heard of this. So, which brings me to another subject of discourse. In final year, we don't see our results. Oh, I went to a federal university, and I can tell you, ma'am, categorically that for my final year, I did not see my result. The only thing I saw was my transcript after graduation.
Wow.
Yes, wow, right? So now, imagine that I have a case where a friend did not, because we didn't see our results,
In the first semester.
in the first semester, and granting this came out, and it was not there.
Yes.
She had never failed a course, never carried a course. And she didn't graduate. What happened? There was a missing script in her first semester, final year student, waiting to go for NYSC. Now, my question to you, sir and ma, what are the processes, as well as Mrs. Olatunji online, what are the processes in place to address the issues of missing script? Because I can tell you categorically that a lot of university students face this. Or are there no system in place to address this? So let's hear from you.
Okay, well, just like she explained, the system they have in the UNILAG, we have the same thing also at Yabatech. Now, the fact is, every script has a number, so the records are kept. So if you are saying that you don't have an exam score peradventure, we'll go and check, did you sit for the exam? You check the attendance and all those stuff so that you know maybe this candidate sat for this examination. So again, if you sat for the exam, then you should get a result for that examination. That's normal. Now, if you are now saying that maybe out of 300 or 100 or 50 scripts, only one in particular disappeared and nothing other happened, the lecturer in charge has a case to answer there. It's that simple. There will be an investigation or other committee to look into that and find out how come only one disappeared out of maybe 100 or 200 or what have you. And obviously, something will be done to that.
So how do we get to that level from when the script was missing as a student to the investigation? What are the steps to take as I am a student in the school?
The student has to first of all complain.
Yes.
Complain to who?
Complain to the course advisor. Every student has a course advisor.
True.
Every student has a course advisor.
Yes.
Every department has a staff advisor.
Yes.
So you complain to your course advisor does nothing about it. You move to your staff advisor. Your staff advisor does nothing about it. You move
Head
to your
of
head of department.
department.
So there is a channel.
Yes.
It's not something that you just jump up and write to the VC. I didn't find my result.
Thank you very much.
So
Thank you very much, ma'am. Wait,
okay.
Ayo, hold on. This brings me to a real life experience. My twin brother, when we were in school, in his third year, he had a situation of missing scripts. He got an F in a course. It was a practical course. He was the team lead, and everybody got A's, and he got an F. What happened? They literally did a teamwork. And he went to his course advisor as your advisor. His course advisor said, don't report, oh. Don't take it up, oh. You spill if you do. So, in this situation where you are saying that the people in the system are the ones to hold the person accountable, how does that work? How is that functional? He had to redo the course.
That may be unfortunate anyway.
Well, that is what is obtainable in a lot of
It's
places.
not obtainable in the
no,
University of First
no.
Choice. I can tell you that. I can tell you that categorically.
Okay,
No,
okay.
that too will not happen in
will not happen
Yaba
in
Yaba
the
College of
University
Technology. I can
I
assure
can
you
tell
that.
you.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's not forget the idea of this program is to seek reforms.
Yeah.
There are problems, there are issues. We want to seek solutions to this problem. So thank God we have NUC here. So now, Daniel has something to say. Please, Daniel.
Very quickly, I just want to say that what was good in 1999 may not be good in 2010. That does not mean that it is bad. It just means that the complexities of the current realities is different. So a lot of time what we see in school is not that what they are doing is bad. The world of work has changed. We have more people in school now.
Yeah.
You know, whenever you do something over and over again, sometimes you get tired.
True.
You don't know you're tired because you're getting paid. But the degree and the excellence to which you did it many years ago will reduce. So there are many things that are affecting, the education system. But it doesn't mean that what they are doing is bad. It just means that the current realities that is going on there is different from what it is. And this is why, and this is to say when you give the solution like our NUC rep was talking about, to say the education is good compared to the past and everything, because it is still good, but the complexities are changing.
So
and our lecturers and education system need to match up with the pace of those changes.
So that means there's a gap.
Absolutely.
So there's a gap that needs to be filled. Okay, so I'll call back to Mr. Femi. So you said students to go to I think Dr. Ms. Eniola, to go to the course advisor, the staff advisor, head of department. At that time frame, is there a turnaround time? So I go to my course advisor. How long, if I don't get the response, should I go to my staff advisor? How long should I before I go to my HOD? Because if timelines are not put to these things, it drags. You agree with me? So please, what?
Now, for each semester,
Okay.
there is a calendar. On the calendar, the date to start exams is there. The date that all exams would end is also on that calendar. On that same calendar, the last day for lecturers to collect scripts to mark is also there. The day for the last submission is there. The date for Senate meeting to sit on these results and approve them so that they can be turned into broadsheets. That's the one that carries all the courses that you take as a student. It's also there. So there's a timeline for each of these things. And as a student, you don't sit in your house, you don't sit and be waiting for magic to happen. You go to the board because each of these results must be pasted. It's not a matter of whether the lecturer likes it or not. You must paste your results on the board for the students to check out and to find out if there is any problem there. They are given a week or two to do that. You make your complaints within that 1 or 2 weeks. There must be something that will be done about it.
So if something is not done,
Something must be done about it.
Okay,
If something is not done and the results get to Senate, unfortunately, something might not be done immediately. Because once Senate sits on a result, you have to now go back and do amendment.
so is,
What we call amendment. It's not something you can rectify again because it has gone online, it has been published.
so what is the procedure for amendment?
So it means that it means that.
Okay,
If
wait,
it-
before
if-
you
if
get
it has gotten to the Senate, so
Okay.
the student at this point is helpless.
no.
Not helpless.
So, but the student
But the
have
hope is
to
low.
retake the course.
No.
No.
You don't have to retake the course.
But it has already been published.
Yes, it has been published, but there can be an amendment. The only
yes.
thing is that the amendment will cost you some particular time. It might cost you service.
How long? Oh wow.
It might,
Wow.
yes,
Oh,
for
yeah.
a
Definitely,
no, not a whole year. For a graduating student, let me use a graduating student, a
Yes.
400 level student. It might cost you going on NYSC with your mates,
classmates.
Wow.
but you will go with the next batch
Yes.
when the amendment is done.
So, but do you think, in my opinion, I might be wrong, but I think that if that be the case, don't you think that we need to reduce the turnaround time for these things? We need to give allowances because if I came for the exam,
Yes.
I wrote the exam,
And your name is on the
My name
attendance.
is on the
Oh,
attendance.
definitely,
And
you
it
get
is
your result.
confirmed.
You will get your result.
but
Definitely.
because of
Time.
a negligence, I have to sacrifice going.
Yes.
It's unfair.
It's
don't
whoa,
think
I
so.
agree with you. It's unfair. That's why it rarely happens. You know, I said this at the beginning, that it rarely happens. We don't allow it to happen at all because we know that it traumatizes the students. It rarely happens. We know the trauma it causes. So we don't even allow, especially for 400 level. You see, for a student that is still on ground,
This is
maybe
them.
200 level, you know that you can still work on it and the person will not have problem. But 400 level, that means the person cannot graduate. His name will not come out on the convocation list. And it's a trauma on that person.
Thank you. So I think
Yes.
for this, if you are watching, you're a Nigerian student that is watching and you have an issue of missing scripts, you can hold this video and please take it up. Let's not keep
Anywhere,
quiet.
anywhere.
Let's stop keeping quiet.
Yeah.
This affects our life. It affects everything that concerns us. So please, I'm begging you.
You
You've
don't
heard
have
it
to
here.
fight about it,
No,
Ayo.
we're not fighting.
Yes, don't,
Yes,
let's
please.
not
But
tell them
there-
to. You
According,
don't have
according
to.
to what we've heard, there are procedures.
Yes.
You can go to your course advisor, your staff advisor. If nothing is done, you can go to your HOD, but please don't keep quiet. And also I think I need to appeal to our course advisors and staff advisors. Please,
Yes.
please,
Yes.
I think we can. Let's take the issues concerning our education at heart, like as if it's our children or our cousins or something. So I think we can do that. Do we have more questions?
Yes, we do. According to Mrs. Olatunji, she said, and I quote, "Polytechnics are not inferior to universities." But literally, nowadays, most university graduates get employed better than that of Polytechnic. This question is directed to Mr. Daniel, but Mr. Daniel, you said earlier that the Polytechnic graduates sometimes have even an advantage because of the practicality of their skill. But what is believed, the popular perception, is that university have an advantage.
I don't even think it's a perception anymore. I think AUC mentioned that in the civil service,
The
you have
dichotomy
a
and
grade
all
higher.
of that.
So yes, it's not a perception.
It's not a perception.
It
So,
exists.
so why is that? You're going to, I'll be asking you that, and then we'll move to NUC.
Like I said earlier, I don't believe, if people believe that their polytechnics are inferior to universities, it's their belief, right? Because I've seen, for example, my elder brother schooled in a polytechnic and is doing exceptionally well, earning, anyway, right?
We'd like to know.
Right? And I don't think he believes, and now he's doing his master's, right? So,
Sorry, hold on.
Okay.
To do your master's
You have to
and
do-
HND, you have to do a 1-year PGD course, if I'm not...
No.
he's young, I don't
No.
think he needs to.
Please,
You don't have
Mrs.
to.
Olatunji,
He's not even doing this.
are you there, ma?
I'm here.
So as an HNE holder, I want to go for my MSc. Can I do it directly without having to do a 1 year?
You do a postgraduate diploma.
You do a
It
postgraduate
depends on
diploma.
the university also.
It
Some
depends on
universities can
university.
say, oh, you have HND, you have 5 years experience, then you can do not an academic master's, but a terminal master's.
So I think it just for that shows the gap.
But if you're a university graduate, you will not need a 5-year experience.
You would need, if you are a university graduate with
Depends on the
either a
program.
third class or a pass,
Yes.
you would also need the same thing.
But,
Yes,
but if you're an HND
Yeah.
graduate with a
You can-
distinction, you would
You will
need
still
that
need to do
5
that
years.
PGD.
You would still need to,
Yes.
Yes, so
The
it
federal
exists.
government is now
Yes.
addressing.
yeah.
Yes.
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 But wait, I don't think that makes you inferior. And listen, if there's a dichotomy from the national point of view, right, or from the employer point of view, as an individual, how do you see yourself in that career path? How do you see yourself in building a career from what you have, right? Because this is what I'm saying, because when you say a lot of graduates, they already feel defeated, even before an interview. They already feel defeated, even in applying for jobs. And the opportunities out there, but they feel because I'm a polytechnic graduate, I can't attract it. The point I'm trying to make here is that whether you're a polytechnic, there are even university students that with their degree, they can't even amount to anything. So it
So
still boils down to
self-perception.
you, your self-awareness to scaling. And listen, you're talking about tech and the rest. The world is moving. We're not even talking about what you studied in school. We're talking about competences. What can you do? What are your skills? And those skills are not necessarily what you even learn in university or what you even learn in polytechnic. There are things that your polytechnic and university are giving you the foundational principles for you to go and get those skills.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I come in here? Sorry. You know, in learning, there are 3 major domains. So
Yeah.
let me tell you where this dichotomy comes in. There are 3 domains. We have the cognitive, we have the affective, and we have the psychomotor. And it has been proven that students who graduate from the university, they are more inclined towards the cognitive domain of learning. That means they learn more with their head. They learn more with head knowledge, not with practical. The practical aspect of it is the one we refer to as the psychomotor. And that is where my brother here comes in. Those in the Polytechnic, they learn more with the psychomotor domain. They are more inclined towards that aspect. So that 1 year that we say, okay, you have to go through
Internship.
an internship or a postgraduate is so that you can get into the cognitive, more into the cognitive than what you are coming with, which is more of the psychomotor. That's what that 1 year does. Because we find out that those who go to the Polytechnic, they are more hands-on. They work better with their hands. They are more skilled with their hands. Those who go to the university, they do a lot of cramming and reading.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. So some organizations and companies, they want people who are hands-on, and they prefer to recruit those who go to the Polytechnic. While those that they are more into, I want you to use your brain, I want you to use your head, they go with those
you.
who are in the
you,
university.
Maso.
I'm sorry, in the workplace, there's operational, there's tactical, there's strategy, right? So let's say people who graduate from universities may do it in tactical, all right, and then hands-on maybe operational, right? But and you look for those people. But even beyond that, let's look at a course like microbiology or biochemistry, right? The opportunities out there in those places will attract more of people who do SLT or people who come out
Yes.
from diplomas. University guys who study microbiology and biochemistry, they are worn out. They don't even have opportunities and many of them they're gonna start doing makeup and sell wig because they can't see any or do something else about
Okay.
it because they can't see any expression of what they studied. So my point I'm trying to make is not a whether this is better than this.
Yes.
This one may have an advantage over the other. One has a difference over the other. It boils down to you.
Oh, thank you. So there's also
If I could say anything here,
Yes, please.
somehow, because of the system we operate in the country, you even find out that most of the time, these so-called people that you say they graduate with distinctions or first class in the universities, quite a number of them at first of all pass through the polytechnic sector for ND. They already have an experience. So when they get there, they now do it both theoretically and practically. And you have quite a lot of people in that category. So yes, that dichotomy or superiority complex, inferiority complex had existed, but it now boils down to where are we going next? And you as an individual, what next are you going to do? If you see yourself that somebody else that had gone to university, I don't even know how the person got there, is more superior than you are, it's your own thinking. But I mentioned earlier that I can say categorically that when we are looking at employment, it is far easier for someone that had graduated from a polytechnic sector to become a self-made entrepreneur more than someone that had gone through a university education only.
Thank you for that thought.
Absolutely.
So, Mrs. Alasunji, if you can hear me, we have another subject of discourse. So, I went to Federal University, like I said, and there's this, I don't know what to call it, but when it comes to your final year project, there's a saying or there's a notion that when your supervisor is a mister, and by mister I mean he doesn't have a doctor, a PhD, thank you very much, you cannot have an A in your project. Because the professors would ask, they will question it, so to say, why? And so, Mrs. Olatunji, can you address this? Is it something that is built in the system? Is it a structure in the system, or is it just sentiment? And these issues exist, so how can we address them?
Thank you very much. I'm hearing this for the first time, and I'm surprised.
Wow.
Why should your own grade for work done be attached to the qualification of the person supervising? It's absurd. And AUC would like to would like to know more about such situations where they exist.
Okay, so that brings me to a very important discussion.
It is so wrong. It is so wrong.
Thank
to
you.
To begin with, NUC encourages everybody lecturing in the university to possess a PhD. But we are aware that there are quite a number of brilliant people. PhD starts from somewhere. Somebody makes a first class, his university retains him. He needs time to earn a PhD, right? So if you have a minister supervising you, it is completely unrelated to the work that you are doing as a student.
Thank you, Mrs. Olasunji. I said this because I had a personal experience in my final year about this. So, too bad, but that's all that can be said in my grade. But that's not even the bone of contention here.
All that can be said. Okay,
So,
can I quickly say this?
Ma, before you say this, Ma, please, we'd like to know, can there be a bridge that connects Nigerian students with
the
NUC? Because I might be wrong, I stand to be corrected. Not a lot of Nigerians. The only time we hear about NUC, or the only time I heard about NUC, and I think Kenny will agree with me, is when they come for accreditation. Oh, I think everybody here agrees with me. So I think we need to establish a communication link between NUC and Nigerian students. Like you say, you're in this for the first time. We need to establish a link. Or Ma, don't you agree? Or is it that there is a link that we don't know about, or we just need to publicize it more? Because I think there need to be conversations between.
In 2004, the government of the day then looked around and said, Nigerians have been poorly served for too long. Let's establish a service compact with all Nigerians, which is a promise to deliver service in a timely manner, in a fair manner, and all that and all that. I told you at the beginning that I am Deputy Director, Servicom, in the Executive Secretary's office. I got to know about this program through Professor Grace Otinwa, who is Servicom and Quality Assurance Director at the University of Lagos. Every federal university has a Servicom unit. You are supposed to go there and complain officially. And okay, let me just get through with this. So far, we have two state universities joining us, and recently the Executive Secretary said we are going to direct all private universities to establish Servicom units because everyone deserves to be served right. This is a call on Nigerian students. Look for the Servicom unit of the university.
Thank you.
And
Thank
make
you.
your complaint.
Thank you so much.
That complaint gets to us. On my table, I have complaints from universities. Missing streets, failure to send transcripts, school fees paid, it entered an account, they said it's not their account, they have not. All kinds of complaints arising from universities getting to Servicom office and the presidency are coming to me as the deputy director Servicom of NUC. There's a channel of complaints.
Yes.
Okay,
And trust me, you will get
okay,
response.
it's great to know. Please, Nigerian students, we've learned something today. Please use Servicom. However, I'd like to ask Ma, what is the turnaround time for these issues? So, yes, I go to Servicom and I have a missing script or have an issue and I've lodged it. Is there a turnaround time? Because it's easy for a complaint to get to someone's desk and it's not attended to.
Yes.
So what are the metrics that are put in place to ensure that there's a feedback mechanism?
Standard, 10 days.
10 days.
10 days.
10 days.
It must be attended to within
10 days.
10
Okay.
days.
Yes,
10 days.
But let me tell you what happens. People send complaints. The email address is wrong, or the phone number is faulty, or the phone number is correct. You're calling back for additional information. The complainant is not available. I'm telling you personal experiences. So ensure that your communication is correct, right, and expect feedback in 10 days, max.
Thank
More
you.
often than not, you get your response in less than 10 days.
So great Nigerian students, we've heard
And
today.
let me just put this in. You know, gone are the days when there's examination malpractice in the examination hall, and the thing drags on and on and on. The student doesn't know his or her fate. Gone are those days.
Yes.
If there is examination malpractice today in the examination hall, within 1 week, because there is already a body on ground that sits on all examination map, within a week, they would have called you as the student to come and face the panel. And you will know your fate, whether you are being rusticated for a semester, for 2
Suspended
semesters,
or
for whatever length of time, you will get to know. So that it's not a situation whereby the thing will drag on and on and on. Like she said, let it go to Servicom. 10 days, you will get your response. It's not like
Let me
before.
also add here, though you mentioned something earlier that as a final year student, you didn't see your results. That doesn't happen in our system in Yabatech. Like she explained earlier, the school calendar always has times when this result, exam, everything is sorted out. In fact, within some few weeks after your exam, it is expected that the result is pasted on the notice board before it goes to the Senate or the academic board. But do you know that on the side of the student, many of them don't go to check their results? Many of them may come after the academic board might have approved the result. And just like she explained, an amendment, that is an entire process again on its own. So if you are a student, please read notice board. You may even find information on it that will help you later in life. Not just only about your particular result at that moment, but it's important that you are conversant with getting information
Thank
on
you.
things like that.
Thank you.
Okay, we've had an amazing conversation. We've spoken about. I just heard this for the first time, Servicom. I've seen them before,
I've seen them as well.
but I don't know. I felt like they are there to just serve the lecturers and not the students. So this information needs to be passed across, and it's beautiful for this for this platform. But also, I want to know: is there a way to contact Servicom, like their email address, website, or something where we can get direct information from them, or we can send mails to them if we have situations, Mrs. Olatunji?
Like I said, you have Servicom in institutions, but there are some people that the problems they even have arose after they left school. So just write nuc@nuc.edu.ng.
Please,
Can you repeat that,
can you
please?
take that again, ma? And slowly, ma, please.
NUC Servicom, SERVICOM, NUC Servicom at nuc.edu.ng.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So now we've heard.
At least 2 officers, including myself, check that mail every day.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to know that we have Servicom. So please, if you're out there, you have any issue, I mean, it's glad that we are able to find solutions
really,
to these
yeah.
things. I think we should
It
have
is.
conversations like this more often.
Yes, we should.
So yes, please, Servicom, walk to Servicom office in your school and let's be able to solve these problems that we have. So as we round, I know we still have a lot of questions. So this conversation is going to be ongoing. But as we round up, we'd just like to take one or two thoughts from each person in a sentence, please. You know, when we're in school, they'll say in two sentences, one for each.
Succinctly explain.
So please, we just want to see, from what we've said so far, can we just have solutions? Think deep as from your experiences. I mean, Mr. Femi, you've been a lecturer for 20 years. That's 2 decades.
Wow.
I mean, how old am I?
That's a lot, sir.
So please, sir, can you just, from your wealth of experience, just in a sentence, just to let us know a preferred solution to an issue that you have encountered in your years of experience. We have NUC here, and they're more than willing to help us. Apart from funding, apart from what we've talked about, please, in one sentence, thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me say that as a nation, we need to become more progressive. Development, we cannot stop saying that. E.g., power supply. Do you know that we have issues in that? No power supply to work in offices of staff and all those stuff. So it's a whole complexity issue, and it boils down to the fact that we cannot relent our effort in moving the country forward. Complexities, especially now that we're in post-COVID era. So that reality is another phase entirely that we have to face.
Thank you.
So many things that we have to do. We don't have to give up. We have to keep attaining the goals for a better Nigeria and a better situation that we have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Femi.
Thank you.
Mr. Daniel, can we have you?
I would say I would say it like this. I would say, bringing it back to the theme of this conversation, employability and higher education, there has to be some sort of handshake between the private organization and universities. Right? That's why, for example, now at German, we're going to schools, we're going to university to teach young people soft skills, right? Let's support the university system to bridge the gap and teach people the realities of the workplace. So there has to be that handshake. 2, individuals in school right now needs to know that the education system in Nigeria is going to provide just enough for you to also find the right information you need to scale your career. So education in the 4 walls of university is not enough. You also on your path needs to be online, rather than spending time on Instagram or Twitter and all those things. Spend time more on also building the right information to upskill yourself in the world of work. And I'll say 3, our also education system needs to just be more resilient, right? Resilient not to just put your back on the wall and say, you know what, this is how it is, Nigeria is like this. No, it would be good for, some more lecturers to just step up, right? And just take advantage of the current technological advancements. So also, like you said, like some lecturers using notebooks that they've used many years ago. Maybe it's time to just Google and see what's the new thing already going on right here. Maybe 5 years is too much for you to review this curriculum. Maybe you want to do it yearly. Maybe you just want to build that experiences in your classroom that can actually drive that cognitivism that she talked about.
Thank you very much. So, Dr. Emiola.
What I have to say as a parting shot is the fact that the profession of teaching, as it were, whether you call it lecturing or teaching, is no longer an all-comers profession. It's no longer something that is the dropouts and the never-do-goods that are found there. What we have these days are professors, already professors in various fields, coming back to education to come and learn how to teach, because it's no longer what it was in times past. We are training even professors today. I have trained professors in the art of teaching because I am a teacher trainer. I train teachers. So it's no longer a situation whereby anybody that is just by the roadside that hasn't found any other thing to do will just come in and engage, because it has moved from that time when people just come and just say anything in the classroom and go out. Even the students now, they are advanced. Before you say something, they already know what you are going to say. So it's a time for us to up our game, like Mr. Daniel said, up our game as teachers ourselves and deliver what it is that we are supposed to deliver to the students. Let's not wait for government to provide everything for us. We can also do our own little bit.
Thank you, Ma. Mrs. Olatunji, let's have you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Daniel said it at the beginning, and he also alluded to it in his closing remarks, that the world of work cannot wait for 5 years. As we speak, the National Universities Commission is reviewing the entire curriculum of the university system. That is an exercise that cannot be done earlier than 5 years. But what it's going to come out with is what we call the benchmark minimum academic standards. It is the minimum. Every university is encouraged to innovate, to bring themselves up, to just decide what they think the students that they have committed to training require of them and make it available. They shouldn't just sit there and say, this is the curriculum, this is philosophy 101 since 1963, and so shall it remain. No, each lecturer should take time to engage in personal development and just innovate. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you
so
very much.
So I think from everything that we've said here, everybody has a bit to play, from the government to the lecturers, to the students themselves, and employers. So I think it's time for us to take up our responsibilities and work. I believe that the Nigerian education system can work. And this shows that it can work. This conversation here shows that it can work. We would like to say a very big thank you on behalf of our senior pastors, Dr. Sam and Nikki Adeyemi, to everyone, our NUC representative, Mr. Olatunji, Daniel, Dr. Miola, Mr. Femi. We are grateful, really delighted, grateful to have you here. We thank our audience. We thank everyone watching, everyone that makes this a possibility, a reality. We appreciate you. On behalf of our senior pastors, say thank you. Thank you so much for availing yourself. Thank you so much for being here today. We want to particularly thank our NUC representative. Please, we are grateful. Please extend our regards to the Executive Secretary. We appreciate the initiative. We thank you so much for taking this time to bridge the gap of communication between Nigerian students and the NUC. And we do hope that because of this, we have an open communication with you now. Thank you so much, Ma. We are grateful. Thank you, our audience. Thank you for everyone that joined online. Kenny, any final words?
Yeah, I'll just say that this has been an eye-opener even for myself. Yeah, I didn't know about Servicom. I didn't know about a lot of things. But I have been schooled, yeah. Clearly, and I believe that everybody else has been. So I came in a setting when I'm leaving better for it, and I believe that we have interacted, and we should have more of this even in this place and in higher institutions across the country. It is not all war. Collaboration is the best way to go. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good job. Well
Thank
done.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much, Ma. Please, audience, come give a round of applause.
A round of applause.
They've done an amazing job.
Amazing audience,
Thank you so
amazing
much.
audience.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate you. On this note, we have come to the end of today's episode of Academic and Career Excellence Diaries. Like I said at introduction, this is our maiden edition. And from this, we can all agree that there is a need to continue this conversation. So we assure you that we'll have more of these conversations, but we want you to put into practice everything that we have said here. Please use Servicom. I know that there's an intuition to always think that Nigerian system does not work, but let's test it. We have backbones. We have NUC here. We have lecturer from Polytechnic, from university. We have someone from the recruitment sector here. So let's make it work. I believe that together we can make Nigeria work. Our education system can work, and we can have better people churned out every year. Till the next time when I meet you on another episode of Ace Diaries, my name is Olowo Keri-Ayomide, and I did this alongside my amazing co-host, Kende Alaufin. So I catch you next time. Thank you, our online audience. We hope to see you again. Please a round of applause. Have a nice day.